Welcome to the tutorial. This tutorial is about how to create a PHP and MySQL based website development environment at your home PC, where Eclipse PDT, a plugin for Eclipse that will be used for the development IDE. So we will demonstrate a simple application, simple website development. Just first we will configure the environment, and then we will show how to create a simple website, and we will actually demonstrate all the required configuration and the related stuffs. Okay, this tutorial is basically an extension to our previous tutorial. I think you see here how to create PHP and MySQL development environment with Eclipse PDT. This tutorial will be an extension of this tutorial. I think it will not be always here. Better you can search it here, training videos by just etc. Then PHP and MySQL installation. You see how to create PHP and MySQL development environment with Eclipse PDT. So you can watch this, and after that you can watch the current tutorial that I am working for. Actually there will be another link here, another topics here, you can read it from here. Okay, for today's training or tutorial I have also provided a short note. You see the short note, how to install PHP MySQL development environment Eclipse PDT. Then you can better search it, because the article position will always change. So you see part 2, how to install PHP MySQL development environment with Eclipse PDT. Okay, what I will actually demonstrate in this tutorial, I will show what are the tools required. You see the two corresponding tools are PHP 5, MySQL 5, MySQL graphical user interface, or just a graphical environment for the MySQL. And we need a web server. We can use IIS or Apache. For this tutorial we will demonstrate with IIS. And we also need Eclipse PDT. Now where to download them from? I am opening another window. It will make things easier. So if you go to justetc.net, better you can go to computer.justetc.net. Ultimately justetc.net will have a different look, but computer.justetc.net, that will point to this page. So download software development tools. So you see PHP MySQL platform. Okay, this PHP 5, you see PHP 5, you just need to download it, unzip it, that's it. And the MySQL 5, you see MySQL, you have to just download it, unzip it, and then click on the setup.exe and go all the way down. You just have to select some options and next mostly. You can select the complete installation option, complete, or you can go for custom. In that case you will be able to show the path. Anyway, I will come back to it if required. Then MySQL GUI tools, graphical user interface tools. This is actually a graphical environment for MySQL, and this is the MySQL server. This graphical environment interacts with this MySQL server, and you can run the query, create different database objects, and also you can administer MySQL database and MySQL server from this graphical user interface. So you just need to download it and click on it. It is a MSI file, so it will get installed. And finally you need Eclipse PDT. This is the Eclipse development environment. I think You can use this. I think this is the complete one. Eclipse with PHP ID and Gent debugger. If you just unzip, it will work. Sometimes if you go download it from the Eclipse website, there is a possibility that you may download the wrong version, because the default Eclipse PDT version does not come with Gent debugger, but this version is also on the website, but you have to search carefully to find it. And just you have to be careful that the Eclipse PDT, the complete Eclipse, and also with the Eclipse PDT plugin and also with the Gent debugger, everything combined together. So these are the tools you mainly require. And there is one another tool, phpMyAdmin. So this is also something that you need to install. It is not a must, but I think if you buy any commercial PHP and MySQL web hosting, I think that environment is usually uses phpMyAdmin. You can treat it as a replacement for MySQL graphical user interface. Usually it is online based. phpMyAdmin, it is online based, and it's mostly offline or desktop based, you can say. But in your home environment you can also install it and do the administration from phpMyAdmin also. But in this tutorial we will focus on this, not on this. Okay, this is actually what you would need. And then you also need IIS or Apache Web Server. And how to install this software. Actually, you see, if you just unzip it, it will work. MySQL, you have to unzip, and then you have to click on the setup.exe, and then you have to go all the way down. And this is also the same thing. If you just download and double click, it will get installed. For PHP, you just have to unzip it, and at best you can configure the php.ini file. Just make some modifications to that file. It become PHP ini recommended PHP ini distribution. Maybe you can change the recommended version and PHP ini recommended file to php.ini file and do some configuration changes. One of the major configuration change will be enabling MySQL support. Okay, in my case I can just show you where I have installed and how. Install programs, then LAMP, so Eclipse PHP. It is just an unzip of this, nothing more. So if you click on eclipse.exe, the development ID will be displayed. So MySQL is installed here, MySQL 5, and MySQL GUI is installed here, and PHP 5 is installed here. And for PHP ini, the distribution I recommended, you can just copy this recommended and rename it to php.ini. And for the configuration, what you can do is, okay, you can better search MySQL. So this is the mysql.dll. Usually it was like this. It was also like this. I just remove the semicolon, so they got activated. Actually MySQL, this PHP MySQL delete is for previous version of PHP, and in PHP 5 I think there are new set of MySQL related APIs that is combined into PHP MySQL I or an improved DLL. It's better, you can activate both of them. And also you can go through this file to configure different options. Maybe you may need to configure this file for the mail server related stuffs. If you want to write programs, mail communication related program, you can do some configuration changes here. Also, I think for better performance, you also need to configure this, how many connections you want to allow, how many concurrent user you want to allow, and for the memory size, buffer size, and all those parameters you can set from here just for optimum performance. Okay, this is for my PHP configuration. There is not much for MySQL configuration. Okay, now I can better show you how to install IIS. Actually, IIS comes with your Windows XP or 2003 or Vista, whatever you say, but I think the version may vary. In my computer I have IIS 5.5. So how can I go there? Start, control panel, then administrative tools, internet information services. Oh, sorry, I wanted to show how to install, not how to configure. How for installation, you need to go to control panel first, and then you see add remove programs. Then you have to go to add remove Windows components. Then find internet information services. It may not be checked, you have to check it. Okay, not this one, this one. You can go to details and you can check all of them. So you just click next and finish. Internet information service will get activated or installed. And after that, to configure, you can come from just short control panel, administrative tools, internet information services. If you click here, as you showed just now, okay, maybe I thought it's there, but it's not. So internet information services, and this interface may look a little different in different versions of IIS. So one thing is that in different version you may see that if you right click, they will allow you to create a new website, but here you don't see new website, new virtual directory. And also you will see another, I think in 6 you will see that server extension or supported server extensions. There is one more option, so you can use that to configure IIS to support PHP or some other stuffs. Anyway, for our case, so this is the computer name. You can see you can connect and disconnect and browse. Browse means browsing in the browser. Anyway, properties, you see home directory. I think here you're just providing some access here and default websites. So this is the home directory for the IIS. Home directory, it means it is the main folder from where this web server will supply web pages, and these are for making this folder browsing capable. So you'll be able to browse it in the browser, Internet Explorer, something like that. And documents, these are the first document that will be get displayed. Okay, I think my focus here is how to provide PHP support in IIS. So in that case, scripts and executables, you have to go to configuration and you see .php. Initially if .php is not here, you have to add, but as we have already here, just edit will work. Okay, what add is, you can have to provide some DLL or some exe file that can understand PHP web pages, and you have to provide the extension .php here. Just like here, executable and extension, we see that it's a DLL file. Where can you get it? You have to go to the PHP installation folder and you see PHP 5 Internet Server API. This is for PHP 5 and IIS support. So you can give it here and .php here, and you can just click on OK. So it will get configured. It's as simple as it is. And for all verbs, limit to, these are actually regarding to HTTP protocols. You know that the get protocol, get, post, hello, or different sorts of HTTP protocol commands, or whatever you say them. All verbs, actually it will support all of the HTTP requests, or you can define it here, limit it to get on post, whatever you like. Okay, this is the main thing you need to change. And also you need to check directory browse read. Usually don't want to give write permission. Okay, this is not the optimum or best configuration for IIS, just some sample and default configuration. So this is about IIS. And one thing you may have to know, that you may need to start or restart IIS sometimes based on your need, and in that case I think you see it here. So this is start, stop, pause. I think whenever you do some major changes or change some major configuration or upload some DLL files, remove some DLL files, in many cases you may need to restart IIS, or when things are not working properly, sometimes restarting IIS may work. Also restarting the total computer may work. Just you have to decide appropriately when it is required. Okay, back to here. So we should just demonstrated this, how we can bring IIS and PHP INI. We just told a little bit about it. Configure Eclipse PD to support PHP. Actually, as I told, I have installed here Eclipse PHP. When you first click eclipse.exe, it will ask for the PHP compiler you want to use. You just have to browse and show to the path of PHP 5 exe or the corresponding folder. It will know how, and I showed how to configure IIS Apache to support PHP. And now another thing is configuring IIS to set up websites pointing to your ongoing website projects. I can show that this is the Eclipse PDT. Here we have two projects, JustITIS and LMS. We are trying to develop these two. So how I configured IIS so that it also works in the browser. These projects, we can also test them from the browser. What we did, okay, what I did actually is, see it here, websites, default website. As I am telling, in different version you may see that and there can have another option. If you right click, new website. But here we see virtual directory. So for two of them I have created two virtual directories, LMS and just etc. LMS is pointing to, I think, professional software development LMS folder, and just etc. If you check the properties, it is pointing to completely new web stuffs and just etc. That's the folder where I keep all of my website stuffs. So it is pointing there. So if you want to create a new one, what you can do? New virtual directory, let just etc test, just for example, browse. I think in different versions of IIS it will look a bit different, but the basic concept will be all the same. So browse, execute, next, finish. So just etc test, it's also pointing to my website development folder. So how can we test these things? Okay, and another thing is you can also create a new project in Eclipse. I think they are not dependent to each other. The way you create them in the IIS and the way you create them here are independent, but you need to synchronize. For example, if you create file, new PHP project, test3. Now you can create a new PHP file here. So it is a project. Where does it points to? Properties, UCC, professional software development, test3. You may want to create a similar stuff in IIS. So what you can do? New virtual directory, test3. You can give any other name, whatever you like. Then C, professional software development, test3. Browse, execute, finish. So you have created some link from Internet Information Services to the development folder so that you can test it in your local computer from the browsers. And also in Eclipse PDT you have created a project, test3, so that you can also develop them in Eclipse PDT environment. Now, okay, here I have told how to create new projects in Eclipse PDT. I think you have to go to File, New, Project. You can come PHP project, or you can also say File, New, PHP project, whatever you prefer. You have to give project name, or if your project is already there, already in the hard drive, you can just browse it. I'm going E, completely new web stuffs. That I am telling HostGator. So these two names have to be all the same. So this is mostly it. You can click on finish, doesn't matter. Okay, now how we can test web page, or how we can debug a PHP web page in Eclipse PDT environment. For just etc, I think we have users, articles, collection 1, accounting. This is just a website. So I want to start at index.php, run as PHP script. So you see it is being displayed here, and you will see all the problems here. I think these many problems are with this file. It is actually the total just etc, and it is trying to validate all the HTMLs. I think it was not developed considering everything in mind in the beginning, so I think it got many errors. You can better try to write pure HTML or correct HTML, or you can try to comply with the XHTML standard. That's the better way to go. Anyway, so this debug output, this is just showing the output as run, if it is run as a PHP script, and browser output is just telling the browser will see it like this. Now if we want to test it in a browser, run as PHP web page, so it is coming here. So you see the complete website is being displayed here. So it is working as a complete website in your computer. See, it is just Eclipse PDT environment, but you can also see it here. Okay, I'm just opening a new tab. See, localhost, actually this localhost is your localhost current computer, and this just etc users articles, this just etc, it is coming actually from the IIS. If you see, actually this localhost points to this default website. So this IIS start.asp or local start.asp, those will be shown if you just type until localhost and remove all of them. Okay, if it were like this, localhost, then it would be showing this IIS start.asp, local start.asp, opening them. I think it is because of this home directory. I think if it finds any of the files, it will show them. Okay, but we are opening here. Let just etc localhost and just etc. So localhost is pointing to here, just etc will point it here, and then it goes through just etc users articles collection 1 accounting index.php, the way we see it here, just etc, then users articles collection 1 accounting. So from the IIS we see that it is the exact same thing here, just a localhost is pointing to the root of the IIS. And if in the hard drive you want to check, it will be also the similar. We saw that the just etc in IIS, that points to E drive, completely new web stuffs, just etc. So there will be a similar sequence here. Accounting. So anyway, you can test it from the Internet Explorer, and also you can test it as part of the Eclipse PDT. Here the browser output, what Internet Explorer or Firefox is supposed to show. Here it is just showing, just running it as a PHP script and displaying it. I think it is missing to link to some image file, but here it is not missing. And this debug output. Okay, actually you can also debug this web page in PHP. If you have any error in PHP, it's better to debug them and fix them earlier. So run as, not really run as, debug as. So you can do PHP script as a debugger. This will actually change the perspective of the Eclipse environment. So this is a debugging environment. The file is pointed here. Values of different variables will be displayed here. So you can step in, step out in each of the statement, each of the methods. Then you can use these options here: step into, step over, step return, for the debugging purpose, and you can see all the variable values here. So there is a different kind of environment settings for debugging PHP scripts. But if you wanna go back, so this is the default PHP development environment. So now you know how to create a project in Eclipse PDT, how to run the PHP script. Just run as a PHP script or run as a PHP web page. And also you can test how you can test it in different browsers, and also how you can debug. Your PHP scripts or web pages. Okay, what else I'm supposed to say? Okay, I think this is more or less all the thing for this tutorial. And one thing is, you can also configure it using Apache. You can download Apache latest version and deploy your website there. And time to time you may need to restart IIS if you require how to do it easily. Start my computer, manage services, IIS, all task, stop, pause, restart. You may want to use this. Okay, I think we have told about MySQL, but we really did not show how to connect or work in it. So start all programs MySQL. So this is the query browser. Okay, I think it's not working. Let's see. Okay, this firewall is on, maybe it's blocking. Okay, not the firewall, but I did the password wrong. But sometimes the firewall can block. In that case, you can turn off firewall. Maybe not a good idea, but you can add the port 3306 or where you install your MySQL to configure it so that the port is not blocked and your MySQL works appropriately. Anyway, you can write your SQL command here, and you see all the databases are here. Let for the accounting, website, Acme, AdSense. Okay, these are the tables. And for the administrative purpose, you can go to MySQL administrator and you can do the user administration here. You can set all the permissions, backup, restore, catalogs. These are all the active connections. Anyway, so that's about it. In our next tutorial, we will demonstrate to develop a PHP. We just will develop a sample application that will have the MySQL database, PHP, the interaction, and some data passing from front end to back end to front end. Okay, we'll try to develop a simple but useful application or website. Okay, hope you will find something useful in this tutorial. Bye for now. Thanks.